All right, welcome to Shell Energy Stadium. Glenn Davis alongside Justin Figger. We're down here. This is our pre-match show here, and we appreciate you all tuning in here tonight. We're going to give you a few ideas about tonight's match here. Obviously, the big storyline coming into this is Lionel Messi not arriving to Houston. Miami has just entered the field. You can hear them being booed by the Houston Dynamo fans. That said, that's a whole issue that is something separate. We want to set you up for the game tonight. If you do want to join me on Soccer Matters this week on Wednesday and Thursday, we will talk about the whole issue with Messi not playing, ticket pricing. Everybody's got their take on it. The good news, though, is if you're into star quality, you have World Cup winners here today. You got Champions League winners here in the likes of Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, and Luis Suarez, who's played in a number of World Cups for Uruguay. So there is star quality here. That ties very much into World Cup 2026 being held in Houston. And, of course, the Dynamo have Nico Ladero, who's played in 2 World Cups as well. But this is game number 2 of the season. The Dynamo's still trying to recoup their squad here. It's a bit of a rebuild right now after a 2-1 loss to FC Dallas that was pretty much self-inflicted. Inter Miami, on the other hand, drew 2-2 with New York City FC, scored late. Messi had a pair of assists in that, but they played the majority of that game, 23 minutes on with 10 men. So I remind you, last year in Major League Soccer, Inter Miami was 11-2-4. And even when Lionel Messi didn't play with them due to injury, they still won 10 games and had an exceptional record. They only lost 4 games all year long. So there's a bit of a brief setup here. It's still early in the year. There's a lot of surprises. We can take you into the lineups real quick, and then Justin will have some questions that he'll put forth here. So we welcome you in. Andrew Tarbell in goal for the Houston Dynamo. Franco Escobar will be playing tonight. Griffin Dorsey, the 2 outside backs. Obafemi Awadesu from Penn State, who played very well in the first game against Dallas. He will get a start alongside Eric Sviatchenko, which is excellent to see Sviatchenko and Escobar back in the lineup. Everything else looks very much the same. Basi Kowalczyk ahead of McGlynn and Artur. And then, of course, Ezekiel Ponce will play in the striker position for the Houston Dynamo. Still trying to unlock him and get him more chances. Inter Miami without Messi tonight. Oscar Ustare, who's 38 years of age. So this is a team that's got 4 guys that are basically 35 years to 38 years old in their lineup. Conditions are excellent down here. The weather is gorgeous. You're going to get Gonzalo Lujan, Ian Frey, Jordi Alba, and Noah Allen at the back. So it's Lujan and Allen, the 2 center backs. Of course, Alba on the left. He's not going to have Messi, though, to play him through here tonight. Busquets in the 6, one of the greatest. Segovia, Allende will be out wide. Kramashi, who just turned 20 years of age and kind of came to everybody's attention here after Messi coming to Miami. Yannick Bright is the one that's interesting. He's coming back after injury, year 2 for him. He'll get a shot in central midfield. And then, of course, Luis Suarez, who many people say is basically playing on one leg, getting shots and everything. Scored 20 goals last year and got a contract extension. So it's a lot of connection here to the Premier League, a lot of connection to World Cups, and a lot of legendary players out here today. But more importantly, whether Messi's here or not, it's a valuable 3 points.
Yes. How do you see Inter Miami's attack looking tonight without Messi?
Well, I mean, look, it's still dangerous. You still have a striker that can make his own chance in Luis Suarez. You're going to ask others to obviously do the playmaking, but if you want to look at it from the perspective of the Houston Dynamo, that you got a great opportunity here to play Inter Miami without him. You beat him in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup without him. So as much as it's disappointing for a lot of the fans, and I feel for those, I also think for the Houston Dynamo, you're catching a nice break here early on that can help you acquire 3 points. But the big issue for the Dynamo still remains scoring goals.
With that being said, how do you unlock Ponce tonight? How does this team?
You know, it's a very narrow system. I don't think it's easy, and I don't think the Dynamo and Ben Olsen are going to pull off their tactical game model. You do get width from Griffin Dorsey. It generally comes a little bit later. Miami last year, Inter Miami, was very vulnerable in transition on the counterattack. I wouldn't say that's a part of the game the Dynamo really look to have in their toolkit. Maybe tonight that changes. But if you get Inter Miami overcommitted, they're an attacking team. That's what they're going to do. You know that. There's no surprises there. It's really about dealing with the individuals they have. But I do think Jack McGlynn tonight could be a good piece of putting somebody in behind Inter Miami tonight, whether that's Aliou, whether that's Ponce. I don't know. But the Dynamo really don't have and haven't really wanted to have a transition game because they do play the game methodically and with possession.
With Eric and Escobar back in the lineup tonight. Or no, that's right. He's not.
Yeah, Eric Sviatchenko and Escobar make it back. And I think you have to keep an eye on both those guys because they have not gone 90 minutes yet this year. But you do need their experience. You saw that was just hugely missed in that first game. But, you know, one of the stories of the first game for me was Jack McGlynn as a playmaker coming over from the Philadelphia Union. And then, of course, Obafemi Awadesu, who's a draft choice from Penn State. It's year 2 for him. First time in the big time, and I thought he got through the game wonderfully.
We got about 7 minutes left. Lost my train of thought. I had a question lined up for you. What is your player to watch tonight? Sorry.
Welcome to the world of being on camera.
Yeah, right.
Well, player to watch tonight, I think. I mean, look, it's a rare opportunity to see all these big international stars that were part of these historic Barcelona teams. I mean, you got Sergio Busquets. Let's go to him first for Inter Miami. Plays the 6th position. Does it quietly. He's a distributor. He can hit the long ball over distance in transition. But he's a master at the 6. And the 6 is a position where it may be called the most vital piece of a team in sports right now when it comes to soccer. It might be the most important position. A lot of what he does is deny passing lanes, helps protect his center back. He's a protector. He's a distributor. He's got a ton of things he has to do, but he's one of the greatest number 6s in the history of the game. Then you got Jordi Alba, who I think he's 35, is still going box to box like a young sprite guy. To watch him on the same side of the field as Griffin Dorsey will be interesting. And then you got the very combative, still powerful, and still a finisher. And Luis Suarez, Premier League fans will know him from Liverpool. You'll know him from his days at Barcelona with Messi and Neymar. So, you know, you still, even without Lionel Messi here, have a lot of incredible international quality that's on display. For the Houston Dynamo, I want to see Jack McGlynn build off that first game as a distributor. It's a team that doesn't have Hector Herrera and Coco Carrasquilla now. I think the Dynamo will really look to be highly combative tonight here, try and break the rhythm of Inter Miami. And look, the Dynamo's calling card is a possession game, so they're going to hope to get part of the possession tonight. When they win the ball, they cannot turn it over quickly. They've got to have their time periods where they hold it well and then maybe look in transition a couple more times than they normally do.
So we've got about 4 more minutes. Any other thoughts about the match tonight?
No, I'm interested to see what turns out here. I mean, we don't know yet what the crowd's going to look like. There's a lot of really differing things here security-wise. But I think it's a game. 2 teams are going to battle for possession. The Dynamo will have to fight. I think a big piece of what I haven't mentioned yet is that against the team with Alba, Busquets, sans Messi, but also Luis Suarez, your focus to detail and attention is probably next level. Those guys have so much experience that they can easily, in a moment's notice, take advantage of somebody losing focus, losing concentration, turning it off. That is something you got to really drill down tonight. You can't make the self-inflicted mistakes you did against FC Dallas, or you will be punished for it.
Yeah, I think that's going to do it for us.
Okay.
Get set up for the match. Be sure to come right back here shortly after the final whistle for the post-match show. We'll take your questions. Please join in the chat.
Yeah, post-match, come in with your takes on the game. We had that last year. We love that. We need a lot of you back, though, to keep doing this. So brief setup there of the game tonight. We'll see you post-match.
Glenn Davis here, longtime voice of the Houston Dynamo, and you can hear me call the action this year by using the Home Call. That's the Home Call audio stream on MLS Season Pass by clicking the alternative audio icon on your screen and selecting the home team's local radio option. All right, here's to a great MLS season.